Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Thursday. Well, you're watching this on Thursday. I'm of course recording this video on Wednesday, just after Arsenal's defeat here at the Etihad. I'm going to be travelling home tomorrow, so I wouldn't have been able to record a video if I waited until then, so I'm going to have to do it from here. So yeah, probably a little bit confusing for you. Apologies if it's a bit loud as well. I'm hoping you can hear me, but they're mowing the lawn. I'll just show you what I'm looking at here. Everyone's beginning to pack up now. They're mowing the lawn. There's people, the TV media guys are making a big racket, sort of packing all their stuff up. So hopefully you can hear me, but if you can't, then I'm sorry. But I thought if I didn't get to record it now, then I wouldn't be able to do a video. So it's finished here, 4-1 Arsenal, 4-1 to Manchester City. Obviously, a really humbling night for Arsenal. Well beaten. City fantastic. You know, for all it was kind of billed as the title decider and the two best teams in England, unfortunately, it kind of went the way that it felt like it might do in the build-up to the game. Arsenal arriving here not in good form, City arriving here absolutely flying, and they were too good. They were just simply too good for Arsenal. They, from the first minute, it was kind of men against boys almost, and it feels a bit bad to say that in a way because of what Arsenal have done so far this season, but they've run out of steam just at the wrong moment. And when you've got a team as relentless as Manchester City hunting you down, you just can't do that. And City were just too good, and they deserve a lot of credit, and they're going to go on and win the title now. You know, Arsenal are still top of the table. You can never say never. Stranger things have happened in football, all those cliches, but I would be stunned if Manchester City don't go and win the title from here. And they'll deserve it. And to be honest, I think they'll go on and win the treble. I think they're playing that well, they're that good, and I think they'll go and win the treble. I can't see anyone stopping them, barring an early red card in a game or something like that. I just think they're too good for everyone at the moment, and they were certainly far too good for Arsenal here tonight. And there's nothing to be ashamed of in that for Arsenal. I think, you know, the fact that they've got to this stage of the season and they're ahead of this Manchester City team shows you how good they have done, because this Man City team is something very, very special. I think the big disappointment is the performance. You kind of wanted Arsenal to try and go down swinging if they were going to go down here at the Etihad, and they didn't. They were just completely outplayed from the first minute. They didn't really offer anything aside from a little spell after the substitutions in the second half, but City had eased off by then. They were 3-0 up at that point, and they kind of let Arsenal back into the game. But up to that point, it was just so one-sided, and that was the one disappointment. I think you kind of wanted Arsenal to give it a go toe-to-toe with them, see if they could cause them problems, but they couldn't. They just couldn't get near them. And City, it was cruise control really from the first few minutes. From the moment Kevin De Bruyne gave them the lead early on, and it was such a poor goal for Arsenal to concede. From that moment onwards, it was just, you couldn't see there was a way Arsenal were going to come back into this game. And for all of their quality and their brilliance, and they were brilliant, Manchester City, some of the goals, when Arsenal watch them back, they'll be really disappointed in the way they gave the goals away. The first goal was just a long, hopeful ball up. Haaland was too strong for Rob Holding, and then you watch the replay, you just watch how Thomas Partey, almost in second gear, lets Kevin De Bruyne get away from him. And you just can't do that against players as good as Kevin De Bruyne. You just can't, because they'll punish you, and that's exactly what Kevin De Bruyne did. And I thought Thomas Partey, that kind of summed up his night. He had a really bad night, Thomas Partey. He wasn't the only one by any means. Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, they didn't get kicked. They were anonymous from the start. Martin Odegaard as well. He made a really poor error for the third goal, and I think that's a disappointment. There's no shame in losing to Manchester City. Most teams will lose to Manchester City, but it was just you wanted Arsenal to try and just show what they were about, perform, give them a bit of a game, and it didn't materialise. And I think that's the one disappointment. Mikel Arteta was saying afterwards, I just spoke to him now in the press conference. He said, look, the players suffered tonight. We played an exceptional team. The quality of the performance was very far from one team to the other. The better team won the game. They were probably at their best, especially in the first half, and we were not at that level. When that happens, the gap is too big, and it was too big. Arsenal just couldn't cope with it, and that was a disappointment. I think it must be said, for all the disappointment, and there is a lot of disappointment, Arsenal did qualify for the Champions League tonight, and at the start of the season, that was obviously the goal, that was the target, and they've done it with 5 games to go. It doesn't feel like something to be celebrating because of the way things have gone and the way results have gone and the form that they're in and the fact that they were going for the title. But I think when the dust settles, it is still something. It's what they were targeting at the start of the season. It's progress. key thing for Arsenal now with how they finish the season, you don't want this just to sort of drift and and just end in a big damn squid now. They've got 5 games to go. They've got to try and get as many points as they possibly can. They don't just want to, you know, they've gone 4 games without a win now. You don't want that going to 5 games, 6 games, 7 games, and the season just really drift into a really disappointing ending. Mikel was asked after the game, you know, you got 5 games left, do you have to win them all to have any chance of winning the title? And he said, I don't know what is going to be required. For sure, we have to lift the players because they suffered, and it's a difficult one to swallow. We have to lift them up tomorrow, doing everything that we've done so far so well to win the next match and to earn the right to win it. That's where we have to start. He was then pushed on it again, saying 5 wins gets you to 90 points. Do you think you have to get there to get a chance? And he said, I think so. Look, Manchester City are going to win the title. They're going to win the title from this point. I would be absolutely stunned. You never know, in all the cliches of football, blah, 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 you know, stranger things have happened and all that. I would be stunned if Manchester City don't win the title from here. They're playing too well, they're blowing teams away, and they're going to win the title. But for Arsenal, you just want to finish well now. You want to finish the season on high. It's been such a good season. There's been so much to like about it. You don't want it to just fizzle out. It'd be really, really disappointing. So I think that's the key thing for Arsenal. They've got Chelsea on Tuesday night, who lost again last night to Brentford. They're arriving in disarray at the Emirates. Arsenal need to lay down a marker. I think Leandro Trossard has to start that game. The one key thing for Arsenal, the good point for Arsenal, was the substitutions. They did make a difference. City had eased off by then. They were playing in second gear, but there's no doubt they made a difference. Trossard got another assist, setting up the goal for Rob Holding. Reece Nelson, really good cameo again from Reece Nelson, who's impressing every time he gets on the pitch. There's been lots of talk about Saliba's injury and Holding's inclusion in the team, you know, leading to this downturn in results. And it's undeniable, you know, Holding was absolutely bullied here tonight. He was exposed by Haaland and De Bruyne. And that's undeniable. But I still think when you look at it, since Leandro Trossard's come out of the starting 11, Arsenal haven't won a game. They were winning games while after Saliba's injury and when Holding was in the team, when Trossard was starting. Since Trossard's come out of the team, they've not gone 4 games without a win. He has to start for me. He has to find a way of getting him in the starting 11. Whether that's over Gabriel Jesus at the moment, I think you just got to do it. Jesus was anonymous tonight, so was Saka, so was Martinelli. I think Trossard has to start against Chelsea one way or another, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone else started as well. I just think, sorry, my throat's still bad from being ill. I just feel when you look at how results are going, Arteta has to do something a little bit different now. Try and re-energise the team some way. Not make wholesale changes, but make a few changes. Trossard should definitely be one of them for me, and we'll wait and see if that happens or not. Okay, so player ratings-wise from the Etihad, not going to be high, as you can imagine, for Arsenal. Aaron Ramsdale, I think maybe could have done better with the first goal. He didn't move very quickly. Brilliant finish from De Bruyne. But I thought Ramsdale maybe should have saved it. But aside from that, you know, it was a one-man band virtually. It was Ramsdale versus Haaland. And until Haaland got that goal right at the end, Ramsdale had won that battle. He made lots of good saves. Played well. The scoreline would have been far worse had it not been for Ramsdale. So I gave him a 7. Now the bad scoring starts. I thought Ben White was probably Arsenal's best defender. Although it was White who played John Stones on side just for the second goal. When everyone else sort of held their line, he dropped deep, and that's how Stones' goal was overturned by VAR. So I gave him a 6. The centre-backs, look, Rob Holding was exposed woefully. He really struggled, as we all thought he probably would. Haaland gave him the runaround, dominated him. I gave Rob Holding a 3. I gave Gabriel a 4. He looked a bag of nerves all night as well. Zinchenko, I gave a 4. He was anonymous. Couldn't get into the game. Midfield, Thomas Partey I thought was really, really poor. He just didn't seem on it at all. Looked like he was playing in second gear, and he can't do that against Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne just kept drifting off him, finding space, and punished Arsenal because of it. So I gave Partey a 3. Granit Xhaka I gave a 4. Martin Odegaard, really poor mistake from Odegaard from the third goal. You really want Odegaard to step up in games like this, and he couldn't. I can't blame him on his own, but it was, you know, it wasn't a great performance from Odegaard. He got 3. And I gave the front 3 3s as well. They were anonymous. They didn't get a kick. Akanji was brilliant against Saka. Brilliant performance from Akanji. But yeah, all 3 of them were really disappointing. It wasn't until the subs came on. Trossard came on, got an assist. I gave him a 5. Reece Nelson only got a few minutes, did more than pretty much anyone else had done on the pitch. He got 6. The rest I couldn't really score, but yeah, just just a bad night. I'm sorry, sort of looking back on this video, I'm probably going to watch it back and see that I've just rambled a lot, but it was just a disappointing night. There's no really other way to say it, unfortunately. But Arsenal have qualified for the Champions League, like I said, and there is a lot to like about this season. I think we all have to remember that today. We're all going to be waking up disappointed. We all wanted more. We all expected more from this performance, from this game. It didn't happen, but there's still a lot to like about this season, and we've got the Champions League to look forward to next season. Whatever happens between now and the final game of the season against Wolves, it's finished in a disappointing way at the Etihad, but still try and find some sort of reasons to be positive. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll speak to you soon.